Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Wednesday, March 15, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end, so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. Cleveland was clearly doing some load management on Tuesday night to be fully prepared for this critical matchup. The Cavaliers were able to give Mitchell a day off, so their leading scorer and top defender should be fresh on Wednesday. Allen's status is still up in the air at the time of writing, but his return would provide a big boost as well. Philadelphia looked terrible in its first trip to Cleveland this season, getting blown out in a 113-85 final. The Cavaliers' top-ranked defense held Embiid to just 19 points in one of his worst outings of the campaign. They need this game worse than Philadelphia as far as the standings go, and I expect them to come up with a big win. Our team pick is Cleveland to cover. Leaning on a Cavs win is generally correlated with going under the total, and that's what I'm doing here as well. Cleveland held Philly to 85 points in that November game, and while the Sixers are miles better now than they were then, in recent games against similar caliber defenses Milwaukee, Boston, Miami, X2, Philly's gone 1-3-0 in those games. The playoffs are right around the corner, and this game has the potential to feel like one, and Cleveland's 3-8-0 record on no rest would suggest we see the Cavs do what they can to grind the pace of this game down to a halt at times. If that happens, I can trust two teams that rank in the top 10 of numerous defensive categories to keep this game under the number. Our total pick is under. Memphis Grizzlies vs Miami Heat. Miami has been a terrible bet this season, as they are a woeful 25-43-2 this season against the spread. And yes, that is the worst Austrian shillings record in the NBA. But I do believe in Jimmy Butler, and I think this is the time they strung together some wins and make a push for that 6th seed. They have a short-handed Grizzlies team coming in, and then they have a pretty favorable schedule the rest of March, including 2 huge games with the Knicks. Also, the Grizzlies have not been a good bet on the road as of late, as they are 4-9 against the spread in their last 13 road games. Take the Heat here to cover. The under is also the way to go here, as Miami's defense will be able to really limit Memphis without Adams and Morant. This season, the Grizzlies are the best team in the NBA in hitting the under, as Memphis is 37-28-2, while the Heat is 37-33. As well, the Grizzlies are playing at a pace of 103.9, which ranks 3rd, but their offensive efficiency ranks just 22nd. Miami, meanwhile, plays at a pace of 99, which ranks 28, while their defensive efficiency ranks 5th. As well, in the one game these two teams played, the game went for 194 points. Take the under 220 points. Los Angeles Lakers vs Houston Rockets. The Lakers arguably have their season on the line with each passing game, and they will be laser-focused here after a loss to the Knicks. The Rockets, while in the role of spoiler, don't have the consistency offensively, and are too turnover-prone to trust down the stretch. With the playoffs on the line, take the Lakers here. Los Angeles minus 5.5 points. Both of these teams sit in the top half of the league in terms of possessions per game, and the Lakers sit 3rd in the league, playing their fastest basketball on the road. The Rockets are allowing a league high in opponent three-pointers made on a per-game basis, and each offense has been most successful in the painted area, the highest percentage shots on the floor. Lastly, each of these teams sit top 10 in free throw attempts per game, and that, coupled with pace, should push this total over the number. Over 232.5 points. Boston Celtics vs Minnesota Timberwolves. I am going to hammer the Boston Celtics on the road, and I am going to day the points, minus 3.5. Boston will be highly motivated to bounce back in this game after their terrible loss to the Rockets, as they will dominate on both ends of the court in this game. According to dunksandthrees.com, the Celtics have the 3rd lowest adjusted offensive rating, and the 4th lowest adjusted defensive rating. They will get the job done on both ends of the court, and easily cover the spread in this game. Minnesota has continued to struggle on the offensive end of the court, as they won't be able to efficiently score in this one. The Celtics are holding their opponents to the 9th least amount of points per game and the 6th lowest shooting percentage. They will contest shots near the rim and on the perimeter, and keep the Timberwolves from scoring enough points to cover this spread. Boston is still one of the top teams in the NBA in my opinion, and they will show that in this game. Pick the Boston Celtics and lay the points, -3.5. Minnesota is 4th in pace of play entering this interconference showdown with the Celtics. The Timberwolves are fighting for their playoff life, sitting 7th in a loaded Western Conference, but only 1.5 games away from being out of a playoff spot. Boston will play with a lot more energy and defensive prowess in this one, after they played a bad game against one of the worst teams in the NBA 2 days ago. The total number has gone under in 6 of Minnesota's last 9 games. Both teams can score, but look for this to be a back and forth game won by the Celtics, with the total going under. Take the under. Sacramento Kings vs Chicago Bulls. The Bulls used a massive fourth-quarter run to pull away from the tanking Rockets Saturday night, a 119-111 road win. Zach LaVine scored 36 points and DeMar DeRozan added 27. They are in 10th place in a hotly contested Eastern Conference, holding a 0.5-game lead over the Indiana Pacers. They need every single win they can get. They face the jumpstart Sacramento Kings, who have surged to the top 3 in the Western Conference. This is a huge game for Chicago, and they got 4 days rest after their victory Saturday. I expect them to come out and play a fiery brand of basketball, and come away with a big home win against one of the more surprising teams in the NBA. Take the Bulls to win at home. The Kings are 9th in pace of play entering this interconference showdown with the Bulls. Coach Mike Brown has installed a ton of confidence in his young guys, and they are one of the more pleasant surprises in the league this year. They lead the NBA in offensive rating, and are 6th in assists to turnover ratio. It has been a great year, and they will make the playoffs for the first time in over 16 years. I like the Bulls to win this game at home, but it will be a back and forth affair with both teams struggling to get stops on the defensive end. Look for LaVine and DeRozan to go off again and this game to go well over the predicted total. Take the over. Dallas Mavericks vs San Antonio Spurs. Dallas is a sizable favorite here, but I still like the Mavericks to cover the spread, as Luka Doncic is expected to be back, while San Antonio is also on a back-to-back. On no rest, the Spurs are 3-8 against the spread, while as a home underdog, San Antonio is 14-15. Although Dallas has struggled Austrian shillings this season, their offense will be able to score plenty of points against the Spurs defense. In the 2 games, these 2 teams have played. The average margin of defeat is 13.5 ppg. Meanwhile, in San Antonio's last 5 losses, the average margin of defeat is 19.6 ppg, as the Spurs are getting blown out in losses. Take the Mavs. The over is also the way to go in this one, as San Antonio's defense is the worst in the NBA, which should allow Dallas to score plenty of points. In the 2 games these 2 teams played, the games are averaging 254.5 ppg, while the Spurs are 37-28-2 in hitting the over, and even on no rest San Antonio is 6-4-1. The Mavericks, meanwhile, are 37-31-1 in hitting the over, while Dallas is playing at a pace of 98.4, which ranks 29th, while their offensive efficiency ranks 5th. The Spurs, meanwhile, are playing at a pace of 103.7, which ranks 5th, while their defensive efficiency ranks 30th, which should allow for plenty of points. Take the over. Golden State Warriors vs Los Angeles Clippers. Just a couple of weeks ago, Golden State trounced LA 115-91 as a 3-point home fave, despite missing Stephen Curry. Jordan Poole went off for 34 points, while Kawhi Leonard led LA with 21 points. Paul George went 3 for 15 from the field, and the Clippers were outscored 42-16 in the 3rd quarter. Back in February, the Clippers outlasted the Warriors 134-124 as 8-point home favorites, outscoring Golden State 44-28 in the 3rd quarter. I'm expecting to see a much closer battle this time around, and I'm backing LA only because the Warriors have been awful on the road so far this season. Golden State is 5-15 SU and 6-14 ATS in its last 20 road contests, and 0-8 SU and 8 TS over his previous 8 showings away from home. Take the Los Angeles Clippers -2.5 points. Kawhi Leonard tortured New York for 38 points on 14 for 22 shooting from the floor. Paul George had 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists, while Russell Westbrook cracked up 7 points, 5 boards, and 3 dishes. Norman Powell missed his 4th consecutive game due to a shoulder injury, and will remain on the shelf for at least a week. Klay Thompson dropped 38 points on the Suns, going 8 for 14 from downtown. Stephen Curry accounted for 23 points, and Jordan Poole added 20 points and 6 assists off the bench. Andrew Wiggins missed his 12th straight contest due to a family matter. Our total pick is over.